Alright, welcome back to another Watch and Score live stream. We are back after a couple of weeks since the last time. I'm with Alex Vega this morning. No Josh around, he might pop in at some point, who knows, we'll see, and if he does then that's great. I just realised no one can see you on the stream, Alex, because did you just leave and then come back on this call? No? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened there. There we go. I've got a nice screen where people can see you. Excellent. Okay, welcome back to another one, folks. We are here to watch and score a classic fight from the 70s, years and years ago. Alex will introduce us to that fight in a little while after we've covered the last couple of weeks worth of boxing events, and there's been a lot that's been going on. A lot of controversy, a lot of crazy scores, big fights. Especially last night, there was a load in the UK. Last weekend, we'll touch on those as well. I'm forgetting in my head, but I know Katie Taylor was fighting. So let's just crack straight on with all that, because we've got quite a lot to get through. Time's getting on, and we need to get moving. So I'm going to open up BoxRec and try and get up some results from last weekend. What date was that? This isn't going well so far. Results.
Yeah, last weekend should have been the 20th.
I'm just gonna go by the top fights. Oh my word, nothing's in there. I can see from, where are we? 20th. Devin Haney versus Lomachenko, of course. Let's get onto that one. So controversial, some would say. Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko. Let's have a look. Was it a unanimous decision in the end? I think it was. All three
Correct.
Judges scored it in favour of Devin Haney. A lot of people had it close. I know that you had it really close, Alex. You watched it a couple of times and got different scores, or at least different round by round scores. What did you make of the fight? What did you make of the decision, and what lies ahead for both fighters?
First and foremost, I have to say, it was a great fight. I'm very happy with the product that was there. We wanted to see if Devin Haney is elite, and also if Lomachenko still had it, and I think both those questions were answered. It's a bit of a travesty about the uproar with the decision. We had two judges have it 115, 113, and another have it 116, 112. I think there was probably two definite rounds for sure that everybody but one judge in the world agreed upon. That was round 10 and 11 for Loma, round 10 specifically. That A4 scorecard, Dave Moretti did give that to Haney. And, having eyes, a brain, some logic in your head, you can see clearly that was a Lomachenko round with the clean left hands he was landing, causing Haney to be backed up. So, but other than that, man, you could say, like you said, I scored it 2 times. Live, I scored it 7-5 Lomachenko. But I remember, there was many rounds, especially in the beginning, where I had to take some seconds and think, well, who do I really think won that round? Who did I think did more? Who do I think controlled? I was going down the list. Who had better defense? And so forth. So, second time I scored it a draw, and that fight. It's a very controversial fight, like you said. So I think that is definitely a fight that we're going to be bringing up for many years to come. Haney moves on. He wins, and it's quite obvious. Everybody wants him to face Tank Davis. Shakur Stevenson was in the ring, attempted to, get a little bit of buzz. It didn't seem like Haney wanted to give them at that time. Okay. And what I think he should do is rematch Lomachenko, because that fight was that close. Could have went either way. And, man, what a great fight. And, guys, it is what it is. I don't think there's anything we could do about it. And I think, we have to just live with the score, because that's how close the fight was.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of cries about robbery and stuff, and I don't think that was the case. Like I say, it was very close. Unfortunately, I've not been able to watch it back, but I was starting to watch it last weekend before the video that I did realise I was watching was cutting out segments of each round, so I couldn't really carry on and score it in that way, and I've not managed to catch it since then. But from what I did see, I was really pleased that it was such a close and competitive fight. 'Cause my worry was that we was going to see a bit, Loma kind of grow old a little bit, and that just doesn't happen when you're so elite, I guess, which is good news. So I was really glad that it was such a close fight, and that Loma had his moments, and Haney was able to obviously deal with that style, and it was a close fight from what I could see. I've not properly sat down and watched it again, but hopefully we'll do it again soon, and no doubt I'm sure we'll cover it again on this stream in the future at some point.
Yeah, honestly, I had a lot of people request, like, can you rewatch that fight? And maybe that's something we got to speak about how there's a way of us to do it and such, because it really was a high demand. So, no, definitely, it's a fight that's going to live in, I guess, infamy.
No doubt. Okay, cool. Also on that card, Jude Nakatani stopped Andrew Maloney. Did he stop him, or did he just got the decision?
Oh no, he stopped him. It was a vicious knockout in the 12th round.
Yeah, last round. I just saw 12 out of 12 there. I was like, oh, hang on, was that a decision? But yeah, it was. I've not seen that one. Again, I've not seen the actual knockout. I've not even seen just the knockout itself. But yeah, I believe it was quite a brutal one. Was he impressive in them 12 rounds prior to that? Nakatani, I've been high on him for a while. I think he's decent. I think he's quite big for the weight as well. So I think he's going to be a handful for anyone. How did he perform?
Wow, he came out. I think he knocked him down in, I want to say like the second, third, fourth round. And it seemed that he kind of Maloney came on stronger as the fight was going, especially those middle rounds. It seemed like Nakatani, maybe he just, he was, I'm sorry. Looked like he was trying to get him out of there. Maloney provided resistance. He kind of, relaxed, took his time. And then towards the, the championship round, started turning it on again. I mean, lead uppercuts, rear uppercuts, started really wearing Maloney down. I mean, round 11, a lot of people were saying that they probably could have stopped the fight. But round 12, man, he just viciously knocks Maloney out with, I believe it was a rear uppercut. Oh, man. I just know it was, no, I'm sorry. It was an overhand left.
Okay.
As Maloney was throwing, and just drops him like a bag of potatoes. Thankfully, Maloney was okay, because the way he went down was quite vicious. So, yeah, Nakatani makes his his global presence known now with that victory. Maloney's twin got a victory 2 weeks ago on an undercard against Astrolabio. So yeah, man, that's a good name, and can't wait to see who he's going to mix in now with what is this, the 112? 115 pound division.
Super
which we got,
fly.
Chocolatito, Estrada,
Ioka.
Is what's his name too? Yeah, Ioka, and then Joshua Franco, Bam's brother. So yeah, there's some players there. Let's see how it goes from here.
Yeah, fun division that for sure. And we'll see how Nakatani gets on in the mix there. Good result for him. Also on there was Raymond Muratalla. He got a second round stoppage over Nakathalia. I got that wrong, sorry. Talk us through that one, will you?
Yeah, so this was, definitely an opportunity to see Raymond Muratalla, exactly who he is. It's someone that's been getting a lot of steam behind him, being with Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia, is one of the best trainers in the world with definitely a great, stable. So, he's facing Jeremiah Nakatilia, who's coming off of, a stoppage of Miguel Burchelt, as well as being a former Shakur Stevenson opponent which in that fight, Shakur said, hey, hit me with a right hand, and I didn't want to get hit with it again. So, yeah, he stops him, I believe standing. Really put it on him in the second round, and Muratalla is going to be a name we're going to hear for a lot of 135 pounders. Could it be Jermaine Ortiz? Could they try to throw him in there with a Shakur? I think Shakur would definitely be deep waters, but you say you believe in somebody, So when the opportunity comes, you gotta go ahead and take those. So we'll see where he goes from here. Definitely someone to keep an eye on with that power and with the stable he comes from.
Mm-hmm. Sweet. Also, just to note on there that Oscar Valdez got a win, unanimous decision against Adam Lopez. Don't know if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, it was a rematch nobody cared about. You see, they came above 130 pounds. Yeah, Valdez gets a win. He has been out since his loss to Shakur, so gets 10 rounds, and they say him versus Navarrete, which we'll see how that goes. I'm not the biggest fan of Navarrete. I think it's more of his size and strength, but I mean, if he keeps winning, then he keeps winning, right? So let's see if Valdez, his Olympic pedigree and the championship pedigree, is going to be able to overcome it. So hopefully it's a great, fun fight.
Sweet. Okay. Earlier on that same night, then over in Ireland, was Katie Taylor's homecoming fight against Chantal Cameron. Pretty big event over in Ireland for the first time in quite a few years that they've hosted an event, boxing event that is. It was for all the super lightweight titles. They were owned by Chantal Cameron, I believe, and she defended them with a majority decision. Mm-hmm. It was a good fight, engaging fight. I thought she won it pretty comfortably. One of the judges gave it a draw, and the other two scored at 96-94 for Cameron. Did you see the fight, Alex, or did you rewatch it? What did you make of the performance?
Yeah, definitely caught it on the rewatch. Mm-hmm. And it was really cool to feel that energy in Ireland. Like you said, it's been many moons mm-hmm. since they've been able to host an event, especially of this magnitude. And yeah, it was a pretty competitive fight. I think a majority decision was warranted. I mean, I hear a lot of people saying it was a clear victory for Chantal Cameron, but I disagreed. I actually scored it a draw myself.
Okay.
But yeah, if I did have to favor someone, I would favor Cameron because she was the aggressor. Mm-hmm. She was, putting combinations together. She was backing up Katie Taylor. But Katie would get some counters in. I think she was landing the cleaner shots, yeah. But Cameron was too big, too strong, and too active for her. So yeah, good scrap. I don't think we need to see a rematch. But I mean, Katie Taylor, Katie Taylor is one of the biggest names in women's boxing. If she says rematch, I don't think anybody really in women's boxing is going to be too upset about it, especially the opponent, because I think she's going to bring out the money bags for her.
Well, so. Exactly, yeah. It's going to be another good payday for Chantal Cameron. And she got the first win. Whether she can do it again, I think she would. I think it could be a similar kind of fight, whether it be in Ireland again, probably, because that's where the money is. If Katie Taylor's the A side, I think they also mentioned about going down a division for those belts instead. I think that was the talk, rather than
same thing we heard for like Bivol Canelo. But I forgot to mention Cameron back-to-back victories over undisputed champions.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Good going that, and she, I guess she's been a bit understated in terms of the British female boxers, probably overshadowed by some of the other names, and now she's getting her moment in recognition and in the spotlight. So it was a good win. That to say though, I thought Katie Taylor in the 12th round was amazing. She showed some of those flurries that she was coming out with, and I was like, where was that? In the previous 4, 5, 6 rounds. If she'd have just done that throughout the fight, she probably would have nailed it. But I guess that's easier said than done. And she was probably buoyed on by that crowd. That sounded pretty incredible. Great atmosphere. So hopefully there'll be more boxing nights in Ireland to come. We'll at least get that rematch, and then whether Katie Taylor calls it a day after that, we'll see. Also on that card then, Dennis Hogan and James Metcalf. Metcalf won that by unanimous decision. I didn't see these undercard fights, unfortunately, so I can't really comment on these. I don't think you did either. So and then there was I think that was quite an upset. Gary Cully got beat off Jose Felix.
Sure was. Actually, a lot of people were speaking about it. I was surprised. Gary Cully was like 6'2", 135 pounder. seemed to be doing, just fine. And then Felix lands the big shot. Referee gave him every chance in the world to, gather himself, but he gets a stoppage. So, yes, I believe Boz even said it, and a lot of people are saying it in the boxing community. Rough couple of weeks for Irish boxing.
Yeah, yeah, you could say that. And that does in fact lead us on to this weekend. Let's move swiftly on. Last night then, lots of action, particularly over here in the UK. We might as well start in Ireland. Let's Northern Ireland, should we say? A Belfast, Luis Alberto Lopez got a great stoppage victory over Michael Conlon. It was round 5, landed a nice uppercut, just like to the top of the head, when as Conlon was leaning forward. He just kind of leant straight into it, and down he went, and the towel was thrown in straight away. He looked in quite a bad way for a little while after that, Conlon. But yeah, what a great win for Lopez again on UK soil. What did you make of that fight, Alex?
Yeah, we just had a big fight in Ireland, and then, they go over here to Northern Ireland. So I thought that was interesting. I wonder, because I know there was like some issues when it comes to like safety and other things, which is why there hasn't been a lot of fights in Ireland. But nonetheless, I think Michael Conlon has time in the Republic of Ireland as well as Northern Ireland. So, I mean, I guess pointless to mention. I just thought it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I always thought Luis Alberto Lopez was going to win this fight. Michael Conlon, I know has a big push. He was an Olympian. Everyone remembers. I think he stuck his middle finger up at the judges.
Yeah.
And great fight with Lee Wood we got last year. I mean, it was definitely one of the fight of the year. It was a candidate for.
Definitely.
Knockout of the year was a candidate for. So yeah, definitely. I knew this was going to be probably a fun fight, and it was. But yeah, like you said, Conlon comes out usually hot. Looking like everything they're putting behind him. And as time, as the fight goes on, it just seems he gets hit a little cleaner. You see a little more of effects, and this time it was earlier than the Lee Wood stoppage, which was in the 12th. This was in the 5th, like you said. Leans down into a right uppercut, and Lopez has a very unorthodox style. I like to say that he's a mixture of Emmanuel Augustus, Drunken Master, and Prince Nassim. So yeah, if they had a baby, it'd be this Mexican gentleman right here. So he's very unorthodox, has terrible footwork, but he makes it work and gets a nasty knockout. So hopefully we get a unification with someone else in that division.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say on that one that obviously it was on BT Sport that it was very Michael Conlon bias, not necessarily bias, but the commentary was commenting on his work, and within a couple of rounds, I noticed that Lopez had caught him with an uppercut, several times, and the commentary just never even commented on it whatsoever.
In the first round, it started honestly.
Yeah. I mean, within like a minute of round 2, his Conlon's face was all marked up and ready. Red coloured, sorry, and it just didn't seem to be anything mentioned about it in the commentary. So, and then obviously round 5 comes, and then we get the uppercut stoppage shot, and it was almost inevitable, really, that I could see. So yeah, good win. Like I say, hopefully we get some unifications with Lopez. I was saying during this fight, make Lopez Lara, because that would be great, be fireworks, and then obviously we know that what happened later on.
Definitely.
So maybe that one, well, it could still be made, but we'll see. Let me just see what's going on with my. There we go.
And also, just a quick mention, just thoughts out to Ludumo Lamati. He was actually in the co-feature with Nick Ball. That fight got stopped. He got stopped standing in the 12th round. He collapsed in the corner and has been hospitalized. His promotional team did reach out, said that he seems to be stable now. But yeah, just a lot of thoughts and such to him,
Yeah, I just saw that on Twitter just prior to starting the stream. So that's good to see that he has stabilised. I noticed that at the end of that fight, he looked like he was absolutely exhausted. So, rather than it being a concussive knockout as such, but it's still, these things can still be bad. So hopefully he makes a full recovery. But yeah, with Nick Ball, he had a bit of a reputation of being this kind of wrecking ball. I think that's his nickname. And
is it?
It didn't really pan out that way last night. He's had a few recent decent stoppage wins in the last year or two. But yeah, he seemed to struggle in parts for that Lamati fight, and I guess he wasn't just bowled over and overawed by the power and the pressure that Nick Ball brings, and so that might prove to be his undoing in future, possibly against higher caliber opposition. But nevertheless, he got a stoppage win in the end, and like I say, hopefully Lamati is okay. Let's move along. There wasn't much else to really go over on that card. Let's go on to Lawrence Okoli versus Chris Billensmith. Did you say that you've seen any of this or just bits of it?
Yeah. I jumped in and out real quick. Just shout out to Boxiana. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys, first of all, like, subscribe to this channel. Just take that quick second. And also, when you have a moment, check out Queens of the Ring. You got Boxiana as well as Nick J. They do a very, very unique style of breaking down fights. So make sure you go ahead, take a look at them, like and subscribe to them as well. Yeah, this fight here, Lawrence Okoli has many, many tools, right? Well, I wouldn't say many tools, but he can definitely, he has length. He will jab. And when he's uncomfortable on the inside, he will hold. I think that is what he's most known for, holding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew this could be a great fight, or it can be a terrible fight. And it was unfortunately a terrible fight, but I was hoping Okoli would lose. Nothing personal. It's just his style. Just you're having a championship. We want to see great fights, and his style just, we feel deprived when we watch his fights. So Chris Billensmith, I knew if he got on the inside, he could do well. Gets actually 3 knockdowns, which I only saw one of them. Because the fight was so terrible, I stopped watching probably around 8, 9. 2 point deductions from Okoli. I remember I saw after the second point deduction, Okoli actually started to fight. I thought he lands a huge 2 after the second point deduction. But CBS, what a chin on that young man.
Yeah.
But then he starts mugging him, putting him in headlocks, and then the holding. I'm surprised he wasn't disqualified, especially after the second point deduction. But we got a new champion, and he has a loss against one of the better cruiserweights. I can never say his name.
Richard Riakpo.
Yeah, it stinks that they're on separate, as we say here, at least in the States, sides of the street. But I mean, that rematch, if maybe CBS can get a couple wins. I mean, Rekapor, I don't know who they're angling him for because he's on Boxer, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Or they? No. Wait, is he? CBS and Okoli just left the Boxer, right? So,
that was Boxer last night.
So they're probably Queensberry, I'm assuming, huh?
Riakpo might be. Right? I don't know. I'm British. I can't follow.
Right. Yeah. No. Seriously, and especially nowadays, it seems the UK has become a carbon copy of the US. Just all this jumping around.
Yeah.
And I want to be on this TV channel and such. But anyways, yeah, definitely. I'm glad CBS won. Okoli, I see moments of that he does well, but it's like, hey man, fight more and you'll get, I think you'll get better results.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I had to catch this on a stream, and I only did so after I was reading on Twitter that Okoli had been knocked down. So I was like, oh, maybe it's worth having a look at this. So I was watching it just on a shoddy stream while I had the Colin card on my main TV, and it was just like you say. There's just flashes where you can see Okoli go for it, and he throws and he lands, and he can look goodish, even given his style. And then, yeah, I know he'll just then start holding and spoiling, and that's what he was known for years early in his career, for, just spoiling to decision wins. And then he got a couple of, I think he went for a period of a couple of years where actually he started fighting decently and he looks better. And then people might have given him a bit more of a chance, but then last night's display was just awful. I think the two knockdowns that you wouldn't have seen weren't proper knockdowns, but he was leaning in to grab hold, and Bill Smith was getting out of the way, kind of flicking a punch, and then he'd go down, and then the referee just counted it as a knockdown. And it was like, well, he's probably teaching him a lesson there, like stop trying to hold, and I'm giving this as a knockdown. So, one final thing to say is on there, we got a weird scorecard of 112, which is interesting, given that the several knockdowns, the couple of point deductions. So I guess that judge must have seen a Coley winning, like, I don't know, 10-2 or 8-4 or something, and then that's how he got to that score somehow.
Yeah, 5 points he lost, 3 knockdowns, 2 point deductions. So that means he had a 117-112. That means one even round, and that he won. Yeah, he won 8 rounds with the one even. So 9 rounds where he earned 10 points. That's a travesty for sure.
Oh, that's crazy. You kind of explain that one. The other two scorecards, 107, 116, and 108, 115. They're just incredible scores all around, really, aren't they? I said it last night in a tweet as well that, Coley's now he's got a loss there, his first loss professionally. He's lost his title, but who's going to want to fight him? Who's going to say, I want to fight Lawrence Coley, because they know that style that he brings? It's not attractive, it's awkward, it's a risk for anyone, really. It's messy, and he's just not going to be an opponent that people are going to want to choose to have a shot at. So he might struggle getting fights in future, I think. And I think, in fact, you mentioned Boxer. I think he is with Boxer, and they were kind of pushing him as one of their bigger stars. And unfortunately, I guess that's not really going to pay off for them. Anyway, let's move on. On that undercard, and I saw that Sam Egginson had a good display, winning in 5 against undefeated Joe Pigford. So that's a very good win for Sam Egginson, everyone's favourite boxer, because he brings it. Talk about styles and good fights. Sam Egginson is always in a good fight. Lawrence Coley should take note. But yeah, I think that was quite a big shock, because Pigford undefeated in 20, but I guess he's never faced anyone, in that good caliber. And Sam Egginson's got good experience.
Was the underdog.
Yeah, he would have been. So that was a good win for Sam, who is 33-8 now. So I guess that might give him a bit more of a lease of life. He's only young as well, Sam Egginson. I think he's mid-20s or late 20s, but he's got a lot of years on him in terms of boxing.
Yeah, y'all raise him up top over there, man. Yeah, 33-8. US, never. Not in their 20s.
No. Anyway, I didn't really see much more of that, so I can't comment on any of those undercard fights. Let's move along to Mauricio Lara versus Lee Wood. Man, this turned out into... I'm not sure if it was an anticlimax. I think Lee Wood just boxed really well, and Lara just couldn't deal with it. It was almost a bit like Ruiz versus Joshua 2, in a way. He just nullified him, and Lara just couldn't do what we know and love him to do, unfortunately. But not unfortunately for Lee Wood. It was a great result. What did you make of the fight?
Yeah, beforehand, I was thinking definitely Lara's going to get this knockout again. I think Lee Wood just will not be able to resist getting in the range of Lara. Then... the morning here, the day of the weigh-in, we hear, the worst thing that we want to hear is that Lada's nowhere near weight, and basically they're not going to allow him to come in, even near the featherweight um, limit. So man, that I was looking at this as the fight of the weekend, and that took a lot of steam off. People that were gonna do live fight chats for it were like, "Well, I'll just move on to another fight." And I mean, I feel robbed, to be honest. I feel that with what Lada, for whatever reason, either he was partying, either he was not allowed to do what he believed he could do. Because I know the British Board of Control does have different set of rules, but I mean, Lada's been over there before. But Sonny Edwards said something really interesting. He said, "Listen, you think we know over here, but no, you don't know until you're in those situations and you learn of the things you can and cannot do, especially the week of the fight." So for whatever reason, he needs to take full responsibility for him missing weight and for this performance because it was dreadful from him. He, was overswinging on everything, and Lee Wood, shout out to him and obviously his trainer Ben Davison, who a lot of people, seem to have lost, a lot of I guess belief in him since Tyson Fury let him go, since Josh Taylor let him go, and such. So I think he redeemed a little bit of himself in this fight because it was a great game plan. Lee Wood, yeah, we've known him from exciting fights. Like I said earlier, Michael
Yeah,
Conlon, the first lot of fight, everyone knew he was winning,
yeah,
and then he got his lights punched out. And you know what? Actually, in both those fights, the way he got knocked down, like his head basically hitting the canvas, and he still got up and tried to continue. So Lee Wood is definitely a fighter I think we must watch because he's gonna bring it. Yeah, I know this fight he didn't, but do you blame him? Because that was almost a brutal knockout if he didn't get up, if he didn't
yeah.
have the will. He truly has the heart of a true fighter. So I don't blame him for his game plan. I mean, he just literally, kept Lada at bay, used the jab, used the two, landed some good ones, and just never overcommitted to anything, which Lada was doing all night. So I think Lada moves up from here. I don't know how much success he'll have. Him and his team are gonna have to figure that out. But yeah, I think naturally Lee Wood versus Luis Alberto Lopez. Both of them are, have victories over Michael Conlon, and it'll be a very interesting, fun fight because I don't know if Lee Wood can try to outbox Luis Alberto Lopez like that. I don't think it's going to
Yeah,
work. I think his the style that he's shown previous will make it more of not just a fun fight, but a more even fight.
yeah.
And if you ask me who I would pick out of that, I'll just be biased. I'll pick the North American Luis Alberto Lopez, and you just pick Lee Wood, and we'll just go to battle.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I wouldn't take the bet, but yeah. Yeah, like you say, I think that'd be. I think the styles are gel quite nicely. Like you said, I think Lopez is a bit more of a boxer than Lara is. Lara's more of that kind of slugger type of boxer, isn't he? Really. Um, so yeah, I think the styles would gel. We know that Lee Wood can punch as well, and he's just displayed actual decent boxing ability last night. So it could be a really interesting fight, that one. So it could be made wet next. But I think there's also a lot of noise for Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington domestically in the UK. That'd be quite a big fight. I don't know how much Warrington's got left. Although they're both.
Wait, did you just say Lee Wood versus Josh Warrington? Come on, man. I'm sorry, but how many shots can Josh Warrington get? Like, I mean, has he even fought since he lost against Luis? I mean, the Lopez fight was close, but you know what? I've developed this thing against Josh Warrington because Lada knocked him out in the first fight, right? That fight went on a little bit too long, right? Then the second fight, he was getting his butt whooped again, and it was a no contest, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and then he gets to fight for the belt. Like that wasn't fair to begin with. So, you know, uh, I'm sorry. What you're saying is probably most likely. Like you said, it makes the most sense. Is domestic scrap, both of them on the championship level. Warrington has a great following in
Exactly. Yeah.
Leeds.
It's a
So
money maker.
yeah, but it's just not right. Like when is boxing gonna get this right? That dude, I don't want to say he doesn't deserve it. I think there's just guys that are more deserving
Yeah, yeah.
than him. So,
No,
but
I
go ahead.
understand.
I'm sorry.
That's
It just
okay.
I get irked.
Oh, I understand that. In terms of like the actual boxing picture and the belts, I understand that. But in terms of monetary reward and the event, the occasion, Leewood has the Nottingham Forest fans. Josh Warrington has the Leeds fans. That could be in itself a cause for disaster, really, in a big stadium. It could be fights everywhere. Anyway, also on the undercard of that, Jack Catterall got a win on points. I think that was a pretty resounding victory. I saw a couple of knockdowns at least, I think, in there. I was kind of watching a couple of cards at the same time, so it was really difficult to follow it all. Three events in one night, ridiculous. And also Terry Harper got a win as well on points. I think she retained a title. Yes, possibly. Let's go with that. And then I think I'm ready to move on from this. If you are, we've been discussing things long enough.
Hey, a lot happened in boxing, so yeah,
Exactly.
I think we covered pretty much everything.
There was the card.
Transpired.
There was a card in US last night. Alexis Rocha. Did you want to mention anything on that?
Oh, don't mind if I do. Oscar Collazo, Puerto Rican, former gold medalist in the Pan Am Games, became the minimum champion, WBO minimum weight champion.
Minimum weight, okay.
Lefty, named after Oscar De La Hoya, even though he's Puerto Rican and De La Hoya is Mexican. Co-promoted by Golden Boy Promotions, as well as Miguel Cotto Promotions. Yeah, gets the win over the Filipino Jerusalem. Actually gets a beautiful, beautiful stoppage. First couple rounds, it seemed that he was taking his time. Jerusalem was landing a couple nice right hands. Looked like it was, some good pop on it. Collazo gets the adjustment, starts finding his proper distance and timing, and beat up Jerusalem to that stoppage. So definitely shout out to Oscar Collazo, 105-pound WBO world champion from Puerto Rico.
Cool. Anything else to add on this card? Or should we just move on?
Yeah, Alexis Rocha, maintains his mandatory status. Cool.
Awesome. All right, we've got a couple of people in the chat. A shout out to Boz, who is in there as usual. Nice to have you back. You mentioned Boxiana earlier. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome on board. And there's also Big Matthews, who has stopped by, and Keem the Dream has just shouted out. I think these are all your people, Alex. So it's great to have you all here. Thank you for stopping
Matthews,
by.
Man, he's actually from your ways, Manchester.
Yeah, I can see there, fellow Manchester man. Good man. Whereabouts in Manchester, Big Matthews? That'd be good to know. Let's move things along, Alex. People are here. Let's watch some boxing. You can introduce us to what we are gonna watch and score right now. Take it away. Get your notes out.
There you go, man. These notes, man, they saved me. All right, so today we're going to be watching Ken Norton versus Larry Holmes. Let's start with the challenger, the Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes. 28 years old, 6'3" with an 81-inch reach, weighing in at 209 pounds, from Easton, Pennsylvania. 27-0 with 20 knockouts. This is actually his first title opportunity. And we move on to the champion, Ken Norton. 34 years old, 6'3", 80-inch reach, weighing in at 220 pounds, from Jacksonville, Illinois. 40 wins, 4 losses, 32 knockouts. Actually, the 1977 BWAA Fighter of the Year. He's I'm sorry. There's a little bit of background noise. Apologies, but yeah. Okay. In that year, he was 3-0. And he was just awarded the WBC World Heavyweight Championship, coming off a split decision over Jimmy Young. Sorry about that.
Okay, too many notes. You mixed yourself up there. That's fine. Thank you for that. Okay, if you are not familiar with how this works, then we're going to watch and score this fight. There is a link in the video description where you can go to create your own scorecard for Larry Holmes versus Ken Norton. You can also join a group on our website, fight-go.com. You need to be a registered member, so if you are registered, you can go to the group section. You can add in a code which allows you to join us, to join our scoring group, and that code should be in the video description as well. I am posting a link to the scorecard in the chat, so you should be able to click on that and just create a scorecard anyway for this, even if you're not part of our scoring group. That is fine. Let's just go for it. I think, yep, I've got the video on your end and on the YouTube end, so we should be good to go. I'll try and turn this volume right down.
This fight actually took place on a Friday. Shout out to non-Saturday fights. We need to bring that back. June 9th, 1978. Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas.
Caesar's
And
Palace,
you
nice.
see that in the middle of the ring. This is a Don King Promotions.
Don King, yeah. See the crown. Right, then here we go. Everybody enjoy.
Matthews, that's because my scorecards are better than yours. I know more boxing than you. And if I were you, I would, without scoring the fight, take notes first.
That's you, Toad.
This is actually a sellout. 5,600 in attendance.
You know, when I was doing the thumbnail for this YouTube, and I was looking for images from this fight. The one that I chose, it's like taken from almost ringside down below, and you can just see up at the rafters, and it almost looks like a bit of a gym or something. It might just because it's an old photo, but it doesn't look like a swanky hotel.
Pavilion. Yeah,
okay.
I think it's a pavilion that it takes place under.
I was like, huh, this looks like a little sports hall. Can't be that many people there.
Nah, man, I don't know how Caesar's Palace looks back then, but now, wow, it is. It is a fortress. It is beautiful. And like right in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip.
I've got a feeling that they're milking those graphics. Maybe that was a brand new thing back in 1978.
You see that Ken Norton uses, the crossbody defense. You see Larry Holmes, man, the jab is his bread and butter, if you did not know, which I think everyone that's probably watching this knows that. That's what, they say Larry Holmes not only has the best jab in heavyweight history, but maybe in all of boxing history. You see Norton with that crossbody, he's going to use his right hand, hold it in front of his chin and catch the jab and look to counter with the right or with the hook. But Ken Norton also has a very, very strong jab too. I mean, he's really a physical specimen. When I was looking into him, he actually was maybe one of the best athletes in Illinois history, which Illinois, maybe it's not known in the United States as having the top athletes. We still get some good ones there, as we see with Ken Norton. You see Larry Holmes just looks really comfortable just moving around and just jabbing. You see he had a nice little quick counter right when he was in the corner and overcommits to the left hook. Oof, that was a nice 2 by Larry.
This is a fun first round.
Yeah, Ken Norton, like I said, his athletic ability, he should be, I'm sure he's going to try to slip in. But yeah, I think that was Larry Holmes, man, with that jab there. And then, he showed signs of aggression and some combinations. I think it's pretty clear who that round should belong to.
Okay, nobody let Alex influence. Yeah, okay. you put in your own scores. Don't feel pressured.
I need to make sure I don't make that mistake I did earlier in the week with the scorecard. You want to messed up
you broke my website. Yeah. Don't blame the code. Blame the user error.
Absolutely. But yeah, man, going back to Ken Norton, right? So when I did a little bit of research, he was all state his senior year on defense, as well as he participated in 8 track events, right? Track and field.
Okay.
Got first place in 7 of them.
Wow.
They actually created a new rule in Illinois where you can only do 4 events. You can only do 4 track events. They call it the Ken Norton rule. That's how much
That's
of
how
a
good he
physical
was.
specimen he really is.
That's impressive, man.
He's also a former U.S. Marine. So yeah, definitely one of the best at this time. Like I said, when it comes to probably athletes being in shape.
Big Matthew says one of the best in boxing history. That's Larry Holmes, famous for the jab.
Absolutely. Yeah, Matthews in the community I'm in, he is our heavyweight and UK, especially specified in UK heavyweight expert,
Okay.
self-proclaimed expert.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah, I see Norton try to counter the jab or the jab to the body. Yeah, allegedly, right. You see, Norton seems to found a safe distance and is ducking the jab. He just has to, find the right footwork, the right positioning to, basically counter off of the duck or, a defensive move.
Yeah, it looks a bit awkward, doesn't it? Kind of crouching forward, almost falling over forwards, and then eats the jab.
Yeah, they're the same height, but with his style, he is the quote unquote shorter man. But he looks like Larry Holmes is taller, but it's just Norton keeps his head down at all times. Yeah, that was right. That was the best shot there. He threw the right to get in the crouch. I mean, that was a nice setup.
Oof. Good solid jab there.
Yeah, that was a double jab too.
Nice exchange.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Larry can do this all night long. They mentioned the uppercut, but it looked like it missed to me. But you see that jab, man. If he doesn't land the first one, he's landing the second.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, this is target practice.
Yeah, they keep popping them graphics up on the screen, don't they? I swear it must be something new and they're just milking it. Look what we can do.
Yeah, whoever was in charge of that was having fun.
Yeah. Okay, nice round. If you're scoring in the chat, let us know you scoring these rounds too, so I can copy you.
And also, hey, in between rounds, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, man.
Yeah, do that
It's
as well.
pretty good content. Nothing wrong to getting a little bit of historical fights going on a Sunday.
Yeah, there's the uppercut that missed, like you said. Yeah, Boz has given it 2-0 to Holmes, which is fair.
Let's see, Larry standing up in the corner. To provide a little context as well, Ken Norton made $2.3 million, while Holmes made $300,000 for this fight.
Oh wow, that's a big discrepancy.
And this is 1978. This guy's making 2.3 million.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, Beagle.
Yeah, good morning, Beagle. Nice to see you have made it today. Early morning start for you Americans, appreciate it.
Yeah, right, Matthew. Seriously.
Yeah, we're going to ask like, what would that be in these days with inflation? You didn't do that research, did you, Vega?
A nice, quick little right hand by Holmes counter. But I noticed when Norton's going to the body, Larry Holmes seems to not be so comfortable with his hands. Like he wants to block it, but he also wants to counter, so he gets caught with his elbows out. I wonder if Norton's going to take advantage of that or use it as a setup to something up top.
He always has that kind of square on style, doesn't he? Holmes, noticed.
Yeah, no.
And he,
I mean,
and
it
if
looks like he's basically standing straight up, right?
yeah, it's a little bit weird.
But man, is he precise, huh? Especially with the straight punches.
Yeah. And what is actually really good is in my avatars that I've done for these boxers on the scorecard, they're both in those exact poses that they keep standing in right now. Larry Holmes is straight on and upright, and Ken Norton's doing his cross.
Yeah, that cross guard is crazy.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you know what? When I was actively sparring, I for some reason always like to catch the jab with my right
right,
and
okay.
then try to straighten it out. Bam. I mean, you don't get too much on it, but later on you use it as a setup. You get them thinking. Now I can come like I said with the left, or maybe I just counter with a straight left. I was gonna say Norton's probably had his most success there, but then that jab coming right back. Ooh, did he land that right?
I can't see anything for the graphics, to be honest, Alex. But I do know it's a world heavyweight title fight. Definitely know that
Yeah,
much.
right. If you didn't know by now. But yeah, I say Norton's starting to cut that distance, starting to get more comfortable throwing back.
Yeah, so he's definitely having a better round.
Ooh.
If they land when they're both throwing at the same time, it's gonna be like a train wreck.
That was an interesting round.
Yeah. So after this round, which is round 4 coming up, we will take a pause and we'll have a look at some. In fact, is this 15 rounder?
That's a great question, Matthews. Honestly, right? These guys are between 210, 220. We have a lot of big heavyweights, 240, 250, 270, you know. Um, I would think if you just transplant them, they would have a lot of trouble, right? Um, but if they were allowed to, acclimate themselves, maybe gain the weight, especially with today's technology, it'll be more competitive. I mean, Ken Norton is, like I said, a physical specimen. He can do it. But what would it sacrifice, right? Larry Holmes, I think he got a little bit bigger towards the end of his career. Not entirely sure. So, I mean, that jab, yeah, I think that jab would make it tough for everyone. But the sheer size and strength of the today's heavyweights, it's going to be extremely tough for these guys from back in the day.
If you look back on
Oof.
the channel videos, I did one a while back. It might have been how Ali and Foreman would do against today's similar kind of situation, I suppose. I think we might have had a discussion on it, and then I put it into its own video. So go and check that out and like it while you're there.
Yeah, man. Everyone thinks Foreman was this huge heavyweight, and he was like 6'3", 215, 220. But they call him Big George Foreman. I mean, if you saw him work out, you're like, damn, that's a massive dude. And that was Ken Norton's best shot there. I mean, it was more of like an arm left hook, but still land on the chin, give him something to think about. Ooh, landed another one. Like I said, I know I keep mentioning it, but I mean, Ken Norton, his athleticism allows him to get away with a lot of things.
Yeah, Holmes is back to that distance, jabbing, setting up the right.
Larry Holmes, like I say, stands straight up, so You know, when Norton's able to get his proper distance, he's able to land. I mean, you could just feel Ken Norton has closed that distance.
Oh, big right hand. And another one. And another one.
Hmm. That cross arm, man, it is nuts.
Was that like a new style that he created back then, or was it something that had been done before and he imitated?
That's a good question. I want to believe it's something that's existed for a while. Maybe taken from the quote unquote olden days.
Olden days, yeah. Yes, I was saying just at the end of the last one, this is 15 rounds, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So instead of pausing it after 4, we'll pause it after 5, so we're not
All right.
not doing too many. Right, get the scoring, get your scoring. Who won that round, everyone? Put it out in the chat.
Definitely, the last 2 rounds have we definitely seen very competitive rounds.
Excuse me.
You know, Holmes coming off the biggest victory of his career, defeating Ernie Shavers in almost a complete shutout.
Okay.
You know, everyone knows Ernie Shavers is one of the biggest
Biggest
hitters
punches,
in
yeah.
all of boxing. So yeah, this is he's coming off a good win, even though oh my god, an even round. God bless you.
Was it
Um,
Scott even?
that threw me off. Though I've actually had a lot of discussions lately about even rounds or even the 10-point must system. It's been really interesting what people have to say, and I don't have anything too against the 10-point must system. I guess the weird part is like we don't really, use all 10 points,
Yeah.
but you know, I guess 10, nice even number, easy to add. I think that makes it, very, easily understood. But like, you'll never see a round score 10-4, 10-5, right?
No, exactly. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but after the Haney Lomachenko fight last weekend, there was a video that Max Kellerman did about maybe adjusting how we use the points. 10-9 for a competitive round, 10-8 for definitely a one-sided round, and then you start deducting the points if there's knockdowns from there, which, would make some sense.
Man, Ken Norton landed a mean right hand about 20, 25 seconds ago.
No, Holmes has got a good chin.
Yeah, he's already shown it, right?
Yeah. We done in fact, our very first watch-alongs that we did was who was it? Holmes. Whoosh. Sorry, I got distracted.
Would
by
you do
the
like
action.
Spinks?
Yeah, we did 1 and 2 as our first 2 streams, I think.
Okay. So this is the thing, Ken Norton will land a good shot, and Holmes is lands combination shortly after. So Norton's putting the pressure, but Larry's always has an answer. It seems.
Yeah. Dancing around now. What does that mean? Trying to do a bit of an Ali thing going on.
Yeah, actually, Ken Norton already had 3 fights with Muhammad Ali, winning the first one in huge upset, and being defeated in the following 2. He actually fought George Foreman and lost as well. So it's extremely battle tested.
Great, right.
I feel like this fight was, I mean, this round was a little similar to the last round. You know, Norton started off well, but Holmes definitely had a really good finish.
Okay, we'll take a pause there and we'll compare our scorecards. So, for the first time viewers, hopefully you'll like this feature if you've not seen it before. Let me just pause the video.
Oh, Matthews. He's a funny guy.
Okay, so if you are a member of Fight Night Scores or fight-score.com, where you can find it, if you are a registered member and you are within a group, you are able to see other people's scorecards. Let me just get that up on the screen. So yeah, you're able to see anyone else who's in the group and their scorecards for the fights that they're scoring. And here, Alex, you created a scorecard and then you didn't continue. Yeah, so you can see some scores here. So you can see mine, Alex's, and Boz's. He's in the chat. And you can also compare. You can view each card individually if you want, but you can also select the compare cards tick box and click the compare scorecards, and then it gives you them side by side, and it highlights how similar your scores are in each round. So in the first round, we both scored the round exactly the same. So we gave it 10-9 to Holmes. It was a 60-40% kind of round, and Holmes controlled the action as the reason. In round 2, we just had the same score, different percentages, different reasons. Round 3, we had a difference of opinion. So Alex gave it to Holmes and I gave it to Norton. And Alex added some additional comments, which is nice to see. In round 4, we had the same score, Holmes 10, Norton 9, and we had the same percentages. We just had a different reason. Alex is adding more comments, great. And then in that last round, round 5, we both scored it exactly the same again, green border. Overall then, I've got it 49-46. Alex has got it 50 to 45. 5 rounds to 0. There's his average percentage per round, 61% 39 minus 56-44. So I think the rounds have been a little bit closer. And then at the very bottom, we have some percentages with how we are matched. So we're matched for 4 of the 5 rounds in terms of the scores. 2 out of 5 rounds for the reasons, and exact same 2 out of 5 rounds, which is quite high, I'd say. So that's how the compare scorecard feature works. We'll take a look at that again in round 10. Let's continue. Or after round 10, rather.
You know, with that jab that Larry Holmes has, you would think he had like this long, amateur career, but he actually only had 22 fights. He was 19-3. He actually made it to the Olympic box off, but he lost to a gentleman named Dwayne Bobick, it was actually Larry Holmes was disqualified for holding. He got dropped the first round, and then disqualified in the third round. Ken Norton actually faced Dwayne Bobick about 2 or 3 fights before this, knocked him out in the first round. So definitely Ken Norton. He was a small favorite. I think it was like 5-4, something like that. Or should I say 4-5, right? Yeah, man. Norton definitely found his right distance. Now it's about, finding the proper punches, slipping and countering. He's able to land one punch, never a combination. And it just seems as the rounds go on, Holmes gets more comfortable and starts landing combinations, especially the hard right hand. But you see the pressure's definitely on. See, Norton's very reactive to what Larry's doing. He doesn't want to get hit by that jab, and I'm assuming what comes afterwards.
I mean, it's a good tactic. You don't want to get hit in the face.
Yeah, getting hit probably ain't the best thing. But like when you're being taught, especially as you're progressing, you can't just do one move ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
If someone's punching at you, defensive move, answer back. If you're leading, you throw your punch or punches and defensive move out. So you can't just do one move. Like that's not gonna win you rounds. Yeah, right, Beagle. I mean, we said it earlier. He's standing straight up, but Norton hasn't made him pay yet. As you get hit by a hard ass jab.
He also knows that he can take a lot of these shots, so I guess that helps. Oh, that was a huge right, and he just didn't even flinch.
Yeah. I actually watched the fight coming in, Ken Norton versus Jimmy Young, and I felt that it was supposed to be a WC eliminator, and I felt Jimmy Young actually won like clear. It was competitive, but I had a 10-5 Jimmy Young. But there was like a crap load of even rounds scored, like 6, 7. I mean, it was a lot more common for those rounds to be, scored even.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you even go to like Duran versus Leonard 1, I think each judge had more than 3 rounds scored even. Like I said, here in the U.S., we don't do that. Not anymore. It's seen as a cop out, Here we go. 1979, guys. Bear with us. Or 1978.
Too focused on the graphics instead of the replays.
Woo. That was a massive right hand, and he ate it like Cheerios. But yeah, man, actually, it was a WBC eliminator. Spinks was a champion. Well, it was Ali that was a champion. Spinks beats him in a major upset, and Spinks activates his rematch. Well, takes the rematch with Ali, drops the belt, so they give Ken Norton the belt for this fight. And when I was researching as well, Larry Holmes, a couple of his like 3 of his last 5 fights were actually on the undercards of Ken Norton fights. So,
Okay.
it classic building up matchups.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's still to this day they kind of do that thing, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Battle of the jabs. Larry's
It's like, Larry, throw a hook to the body, the left hook to the body, man. He's literally keeping that right hand in front of his chin. But I don't think he wants to lean in. We've been mentioning the Larry Holmes jab, but I really like the Ken Norton jab. I mean, it is a hammer.
It's just not as efficient as as Larry's, I guess. But it's nice. Like I say, it goes from low down, doesn't it? So a lot of leverage.
And Norton's he's going to do his best work on the inside. That's what he wants to do: push you back and throw to the body and up. And like I said, I mean, he's obviously very strong. So he just Larry Holmes' footwork, man. It's like at first he stays flat-footed, and as the round goes on, he's like, "Hey, I have feet. Let me just jab, 1, 2, and switch the angle."
Not as much going on in this round.
No, not yet. You got to remember, these guys know it's possible 15 rounds.
15, yeah.
It's true, Boxiana, right? We don't see heavyweights. They're just, I said about how, with technology and all that, they're physically, presumably better. But right, none of them are moving like this or have educated jabs to win a fight just off the jab and movement. They just don't. And like you said, there's not much going on. So what Larry Holmes is doing, I mean, he's controlling the action, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like Joseph Parker,
yeah.
I really like his boxing skills, but right, physically he doesn't look like this. These guys are in shape. Well, I mean, especially Ken Norton, but his hairline would say otherwise.
That's better.
Ken Norton with the triple jab. Look at that. Oof.
Nice.
Oh man. Oof.
That was a tricky one, but the action happened in the last 10 seconds. Is that a round stealer?
Oh wow.
I mean, we said for 2 minutes he was kind of dancing around and jabbing, controlling the action, and then
I was speaking to a gentleman in a group voice chat, and he says the way he scores is he breaks it down minute by minute, right? So who wins the first minute, the second minute, and the third minute? And I said, that's probably a good base to go off of. However, you can do great work in 20 seconds that is better than what the guy did in 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, if it's just a little touch, jab, but in the last 20 seconds, I'm coming on the inside and I land 5-6 hard punches.
Let's go.
You can land 7 jabs to my 5 hard punches.
Yeah.
Which one is going to be better? Jesus
right,
Lord.
Here we go.
Jesus Christ.
A fight broke out.
You guys got granite chins around here, huh? Like Boxiana said, man, they don't make them. How come they don't look like this?
Fiore looks like he's just got off the couch, but I think he moves like these two. Yeah, that's true, Beagle. He is the exception.
And you see, that's what Ken Norton, that's a big flaw in his style, right? He wants to lean back with a guy with a long reach and punch precision. Yo, that's he's gonna land that. He's gonna land shots constantly, especially with that anticipation. You got to come with more than one move.
Yeah. Buzz said that, sorry, but jabbing it alone doesn't win rounds for me. I mean, it does if the other boxer doesn't do anything else.
Or if it's controlling the round, right? Controlling the other fighter.
Yeah, and that's why the very reason why that there are different options available on the app to select, because they are each distinguishable, in certain scenarios. That controlling the round is almost made for those rounds where, one boxer can't really do much, the other boxer is just really jabbing away and just controlling what's happening.
That's what makes, I guess, just judging so controversial is, most people like aggression, right? But there's a difference between just simple aggression and effective aggression. And that's called the art of boxing, which a lot of people just don't have a full understanding. And that's okay. But that's why we have professional judges. And I think something like the Fight Night scores, what it provides is that extra clarity. And maybe it'll help educate, not just boxing fans, but also other judges. Man, these rounds, it's not always so much action, but I feel like it is a bit of a, there's different flows to it, right? There's a little, oof, wow. I mean, look, Jesus, he landed that one too, right, Norton?
I think it did, but
it's tough to tell sometimes because he was stepping off an angle. Like maybe he knew it was coming, or he was trying to just, step off.
Also,
And this is where
Larry
Norton wants to fight.
Yeah, definitely. Swinging after the bell. Larry Holmes also doesn't really give you a clue when when a shot lands. He just takes it. That was fun. That was when the action happened. I'm giving Kenny some rounds now. Quite a few even on the whoever this is talking. Don't forget to get your round scores in, folks.
Oh my god.
Okay, round 9.
Look, Ken Norton went straight out of there. Like, let's go. He finished the round off well, for sure.
Yeah, definitely did.
Absolutely, I agree. I think that's the biggest issue. He's not getting off first. He's waiting too much. He looked unsteady for a quick second without a punch landing. Just remember, when it comes to scoring, the number one criteria is clean, effective punches landed, right? So, right, if a guy's just jabbing compared to someone that is landing, a power punch, most likely the power punch is going to be, the determining factor. But, people look at Combi Box. Combi Box doesn't tell you how clean or effective the shot was. It's just what they believe might have landed even partially.
Yeah.
That's why we don't use punches landed through one specific system as, the tell-all be-all when it comes to the winner of a round. You have to use your eyes, interpret what's happening. Listen, Larry Holmes can do this all day. I mean, Norton needs to figure something out. Yeah.
We see it time and again, don't we, where you got someone that's comfortable just working like this, jabbing at his own pace, and you just know that if the other guy puts him off that rhythm and just goes in a little bit, they're going to undo him. Maybe.
He's getting himself on the inside at times. I mean, he throws the right hand. Holmes ducks under it, keeps his feet flat, but Holmes doesn't follow up with it. It's like, yo, he's in the range. Throw some body shots. See what you can create. Because at distance, it's just not working.
Oh, well, there you go. Nice one, too.
What the hell is Holmes made out of?
Oh. Wow.
Jesus.
I mean, they're both landing some big shots here. Norton's were getting the bigger reaction.
One thing I noticed is Norton almost never takes a step back. So that goes into it. When we talk about effective punches, what do we define as effective, right? Effective punch usually stops a fighter from throwing punches, from changing, basically not doing what he wants to do anymore, at least for a quick second.
Yeah.
And I would say when Norton gets hit, he doesn't move much, but he's not throwing. When Holmes gets hit, he's taking steps back.
Interesting.
With like 7 even rounds, like 1 to Holmes.
9 even rounds.
Look, hands down. So Holmes tried to parry a shot. Looked like he was stuck between which shot he wanted to parry, and gets blasted by a right.
Round 10 next.
So they say this is one of the greatest heavyweight fights of all time, so I'm anticipating this is really going to heat up. And they said Norton came off with a slow start, so yeah, man, I'm really excited to see how this one's going to end.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's described in that way, you'd think it can't just be this for the next 5 rounds as well, because it's not been great. It's been good.
Right. Yeah, there's been cool moments, but I think it's really the few and in between hard shots from Norton and the jab and controlling the distance from Larry Holmes and a display of great chins.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, man, if you're still with us and we haven't done so, please hit that like button. We really appreciate it. And in case you didn't know, this is a WBC World Heavyweight Championship fight.
And it's live from Caesar's Palace.
Yeah. I feel myself wanting to root for Norton, man. I mean, he's so unorthodox, and he has to do so much to get on the inside. But you gotta appreciate also what Larry Holmes is doing with the jab. Absolutely, Matthews. Yeah, these guys, no chance against Tyson Fury. It seems people are afraid to say it sometimes, but the skill set and the size of Tyson Fury. What did he say? There's not a man born of his mother's wound, or maybe in other words, that can defeat him. Oof. I mean, he's been showing it, especially as of late. A Macbeth quote, okay. Did he say his mother's cunt? Born from his mother's cunt. Yeah, right. Nah, Fury's a special. They're definitely a special specimen.
I think
he's going to be missed when he's gone.
An anomaly, isn't he? You could say.
We're talking about in the broadcast, man. Larry Holmes definitely has fast hands.
That round went by in a flash, and
it did.
I don't know who won it.
It's all the great discussion, man. Time flies when you're having fun.
Exactly.
Oh, I did it the wrong way. Oopsies. Yeah, well, that's round 10, right? Should we pause?
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out who won the round.
Heard that. Calls him a crackhead. Oh, my God.
Jay calls him a crackhead.
Usually people that are great in whatever, thing they, I'm sorry. Wow, brain fart.
Take part in.
But yeah, usually whatever someone's great in, whatever it be, being an artist, a musician, maybe a boxer, they always seem to be a bit crazy in the head, huh?
Okay. Have I got that on screen? Yeah, I do. Let's go for round 6. Let's compare our scores. We've got a yellow board. What does that mean? I guess it's the same. Excuse me, the same score and the same reason, but a different percentage value. So you got the full stack there. Okay, so round 6 we was kind of agreed upon. Round 7 we was agreed upon Norton winning both of those rounds. Oh, hang on, no. I gave an even round. I gave an even round there, Alex.
It's all right. I could understand, to be honest.
And then we had the next 2 rounds we scored differently. So you gave one to Holmes and one to Norton, and then I gave it the opposite way around. I gave it to Norton and Holmes. So I guess we did say at some point that there was a couple of rounds where they were pretty close and could go either way. And then in that last round, we both gave it to Larry Holmes as he controlled the action. That's what we both gave. Both correct. So we've only got 2 exact matching rounds out of 10 now, so that's down to 20%. But we've got 7 out of 10 where the scores are the same. That's 3 rounds difference. So, we're only one point difference because I scored that even round. So, make of that what you will. Let's continue.
Yeah, Matthews, when you look at these heavyweights specifically, right, you said the 60s, 70s era is looked at a specific way. And I think what it is, I think it was the first time in a while there was actually a competitive group of fighters. So that's why it's seen as such a golden age. I mean, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, right? Um, and then you have contenders. You have Ken Norton, the emergence of Larry Holmes. Like I mentioned before, Jimmy Smith, who fought Ali, fought Ken Norton as well. You even go to those other guys. It was a deep time where it seemed like anybody could beat anyone. So I think that's why it's looked at that certain way. And like you said, the '90s, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, you know, Buster Douglas came on the scene with his big victory, right?
Don't forget Frank Bruno.
Frank Bruno, known for his 2 losses, right? No,
pretty much,
I'm
yeah.
joking. Because the same thing for Buster Douglas, right? I mean, he had that one big win, 1990, and never anything else. But yeah, the '90s, I agree. I think that was probably the best, of the best of the heavyweights. If you compare it, top 10 of the '90s compared to any other decade. Man, Ken Norton's really getting sloppy here. Definitely, you can feel the urgency.
See, people kind of rave about today's heavyweights, and I don't think it's really that great in terms of ability and such, but I guess there's quite a few competitive fights, but it's just because they're equally as not good. But apart from Tyson Fury and maybe Usyk as well, but outside of them too.
Man, Norton's really putting the pressure on. He's starting to land a lot more shots. Hopefully it's a real turn up right here. Yeah, but then you have Anthony Joshua, right? Everyone talks about his physique. He's pretty solid in everything. People just question his mentality. Deontay Wilder, I mean, he looks like somebody that definitely needs more seasoning, even though he's 37 years old. But that right hand can't be denied. It's probably the greatest weapon we've ever seen in boxing. Andy Ruiz is seen as a top guy because he has a win over AJ. But I think clearly, ooh, man, that was a hard right chopping hand by Norton. But yeah, I think it's just excitement. The sport is at its best when the heavyweights are good. So
Yeah.
We're gonna speak into existence probably. Yeah. Norton is all over Holmes, man. He's really he's catching Larry with his hands down, and he's able to land those single hard shots, but he's following up a little bit more. But he's got to stop following. He's got to start cutting that distance. I mean, cutting off the ring. I apologize. The right hand, bam. Look, chop to the body, brother. Yeah, there you go, bam.
Oh.
See, he chops to the body. He lands the hard shots up top. Oof.
Is that around the back of the head, that one? But, keep that on quiet.
Nah,
He's bringing it.
He caught him on the ear. Oof. Another hard right hand. Definitely Norton's best round.
Yeah, agreed. Nice one, Kenny.
Hey, welcome to the fight, all right? According to our scorecards.
That was nice. Yeah, Big Matthews in the channel chat was saying there that fighting evolves like any sport. I think that's just the same across. Like any sport, really. People get bigger, faster, stronger over time. That's why records always end up getting broken.
Right. Yeah. Right. A world record will be held, for 20, 30 years. and then 3 straight years it's being broken, right?
Hmm.
We're looking at look at American football players. You know, we have like the 40-yard dash. There's a very big, measuring stick on, how fast you are. Running a 4.3, 4.4 is really fast. And, those are usually by guys that are like 5'10", 180 pounds. They have guys that are 6'5", 240 running 4.5 nowadays. Like insane.
Okay, as a British person, I have no idea what you just said, but that's fine. Yeah, modern day drugs work wonders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to GMOs. I just love the urgency shown by Norton. It's definitely making the fight more appealing.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, it's a heavyweight championship fight. Someone call Lomachenko, tell him to go back in time for that 12th round that he said he took off.
Yeah, this must
I
be
like the body shots.
this must be good corner work as well. Saying you need to get out there and make something happen, and then he's got the grit and determination to go and make a fight of it.
I don't like Holmes parrying shots. He leaves his hands out too much and susceptible to the counter. Oh man, hey, look at Norton with the footwork. Thank you, Matthews, for that reminder.
Oh.
That was just weird. For like a second, he just starts throwing punches to throw them, like he's like not a professional boxer. Just let me just get a couple of them, man.
So he's slowed down now, and Larry Holmes back to jab and then the right cross.
And he just eats it like nothing, man. But I wake up in the morning, I read the newspaper, take a right hand, take a shower. Yeah, you see the roof now. Yeah, it's a pavilion.
Yeah, it looks just like a gym. Sports hall.
Yeah. Close round so far. Have no idea how much time is left.
That's the next technological advance. I think the live score time on the screen. Gotta wait a few years for that one.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Nice short right hand, nice left hook, touching left hook, but see, he tried to follow it up, but he wound it up too much.
That was
loaded up
millimeters away.
Of course you did.
More even rounds than Carl Froch gives.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's quite
I know
notorious.
Bellew's done it too. Oh, Matthews, thank you for being here. You're very entertaining. Yeah, Norton definitely looks spent.
Knackered.
But man, he makes me want to do push-ups, man. That's how it goes. That's the game. That's especially with judging, right?
I like how he looks there when he came off his stool though. Strolled into the ring ready for action.
Little jabs to the body, huh? Just don't see body punching in heavyweight boxing anymore.
That's because it would bounce off the flubber.
Yeah. Right? As someone said earlier, I think it was Baxiana.
Baxiana, yeah.
Just wonder what Norton's looking for sometimes. Or maybe that's what the problem is. He doesn't know what to look for. That was nice by Larry Holmes. Made him miss, made him pay.
Nice double jab as well there.
I don't think they look slow, Matthews. I don't think they look slow at all. Sometimes they, just throwing shots out there, but Larry Holmes, there's been some great display of speed. Yeah, see that right hand, right? Spins it. That's funny.
Get off my head.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of arm punches in between. Oof, oof. Jesus Lord. They might have stopped it nowadays. If Tony Weeks was there, it would have been stopped. There's a British guy too that's known for stopping. The one that stopped Wardley versus Coffey.
I'm not sure who that was. Was that last weekend or the weekend before?
It was a few months ago.
Wow. Oh. He's in trouble. Oh, man.
Yeah, for sure.
This is where the hype comes from. He's like staggering around there now, and just like...
He's like a zombie.
Yeah. But he's still got his crossed arms. He knows that. Oh, Jesus. Can't hold on to the head.
No.
Maybe he could back then.
We call that over here being Little Boyd.
Yeah. Wow. How's he stayed on his feet there then?
Close round. No.
Hey, was that wide enough to be a 10-8 round, even without a knockdown?
No. I think if there was no resistance, I would say yeah.
Dead even.
He said he scored a 10-8.
10, 12 even rounds, dead even.
I actually scored a 10-8 round last night in the Oscar Collazo fight because it was such a beatdown. But like I said, if there's no resistance and you're teeing off for, a sustainable amount of time, I could see 10-8. But, I mean, yeah, he put a beat down on him a little bit, but, Norton was still in there. He landed some, a couple body shots.
But I mean, that round there is like going back to like that Max Kellerman video where if you start giving 10-8 rounds for a wider round, that would be a perfect example.
Yes, according to his criteria, I would understand 10-8. It was a clear winner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 2 rounds to go. Yeah, definitely needs to. Look, he needs these rounds. Norton does.
Yeah, I've got it. Still fairly close. 7 rounds to 5.
We're in round 14, sir. You missed one.
I'm uneven.
Oh, that's correct. Yes.
Forgot about that one.
I like the urgency. I mean, we saw a couple rounds ago he had his biggest round, and then Holmes came in, put a little bit of a battering on him. But yeah, refs got to, warn him about sticking that lead arm out. We saw it with Okoli against CBS last night. Well, yesterday. He was doing the same thing when he wasn't holding. Not too much holding in this fight.
No.
Yeah, that right there, that's Norton's best thing when he's doing double left hooks, going to the body. That is Norton's game.
Now this is good now. I can see now why people like this fight. From round 12 onwards, It's been fun.
Oh, it's a holiday for you guys as well, because it's a holiday weekend for us. That's why I asked for it to be early.
Yeah, we're off work tomorrow. Well, I'm.
Yeah, we have Memorial Day for the fallen troops tomorrow. Norton needs to seal this round. Oh, that right hand might. Oh, then it's countered. Yeah, got to keep those hands up, Larry. Nice combination. Not Norton, man. Listen,
He's relentless,
listen to
isn't
me.
he?
Even though this is the past, body up, body ahead, man. That's his best work.
Oh, for cut through the guard.
Oof, the bell.
Good round that for Norton.
What is this guy talking about? I've been trying to stay quiet, man, but like 4 times, whatever he says, I feel the opposite.
Even. Beagle pubs do show live boxing in the UK, yes. Is that unusual?
It's become way less common here in the States.
Okay.
Really, the only fights for boxing that you'll see at the bar used to be like Mayweather fights, or you go to like a Mexican bar, stuff like that. Yeah, it's
Okay.
But I think the Tank fight possibly help launch it back.
Well,
Tank
I mean,
versus Ryan.
I say it happens. It's not like every single pub would do it. Like, there are sports bars and stuff where they might pay for it and put it on. Especially the bigger fights.
Right. Like a Bud versus Porter wouldn't have been in probably any
Okay.
in any of the bars.
I mean, it depends on the pub. You get like some proper local pubs where they'll have just sports TV on going on, and boxing might happen to be on. Not necessarily that people are there specifically to watch it.
Oof. We're getting good action right now. I think Holmes is getting a little bit better of the action, but Norton's still right there.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Haney, Lomachenko, not in any bars.
Oh, good. There you go. Body in and upstairs.
Ooh. This is what we talk. Where has this been?
Oh.
Ooh, did he stagger him? I guess not.
What a round. Oh, nice.
Ooh, man.
Just standing and swinging now.
Jesus Christ.
They're just planting the feet.
Oh, mouthpiece came out.
Aim at the head. Ah.
Man.
What a round that is.
Larry Holmes is different, man. Ken Norton too, though. You can see why they're celebrated heavyweights.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my Lord. I think no mouthpiece came out, but definitely a lot of drool.
Wow.
Man.
How do you score that one? It's another even round.
Honestly, like, that was such a great competitive round. They both
deserve
deserved to win
10.
that round.
Oh no, Alex. We've lost Alex. Hopefully he comes back. Yeah, Boxiana there throwing that was hard to score. Definitely. Hopefully Alex will make his way back shortly. We'll stick around for the decision and then we'll do some comparison of our scores. And there he goes. You back?
Pay me.
Big Matthews, is that a question to me? Who's your favourite fighter? I don't think I got one, to be honest. I just like boxing. I like competitive fights.
Come on, man. Seems that my connection has all of a sudden weakened.
Yeah. Well, no worries. We'll just get this decision. We'll have a quick recap of our cards, and then we will call it there.
It's very hard to score that round. I believe that was I might have won round of the year.
Yeah, I think I understand. Split decision.
I hate when they announce it like that.
Yeah, just start reading the scores.
Wow, that volume just turned up.
Yeah, sorry, I increased it a bit.
One judge, 143, 142 Holmes. One point separating the fighters with that judge. Scores 143, 142 Norton. 143, 142 Norton. It all depends on the final judge. Scores it 143, 142 for the new Larry Holmes has done it.
Wow. Yeah, they don't act like that in American boxing anymore. That's a lot of.
Look how many
No, that's
people
great.
are in that ring.
I wish it was. I mean, look at that. I mean, when I watch these old fights from the 70s and the 80s, yo, the ring is packed. The energy is crazy. You can just see it too. Like these guys, they're jockeying for position because people are just so excited inside there.
Yeah, look at that. Police are trying to stop people getting around him. I'll pause it on that dude's face, looking slick. Oh, Alex, are you still there? You're freezing up a little bit, but I think you're still there.
I am here.
Good man, good man. All right, let's get back to our scorecards and a quick comparison of those last 5 rounds, and we'll see what we come up with ourselves. You don't happen to have the full scorecards for this fight, do you?
What do you mean, like, so we can see what the majority was for each round? I didn't. No, I didn't do that. I'll do it later, I guess. Unfortunately.
Yeah, no problem. I wasn't too sure if it was even available, to be honest. That's fine. Okay, round 11. We both gave to Norton. We had the exact same round for round 12, also to Norton, and then we both gave Holmes round 13. We both gave Norton round 14, and then in round 15, you gave it to Holmes and I gave an even round. So I got 2 even rounds in there. I'm nearly as bad as the commentator. So I had it 7-6 to Holmes, 2 even, 1-4-4 to 1-4-3, and you had it clearer for Holmes, 9-6, 1-4-4 to 1-4-1. Amazing. Okay.
Good fight.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Like you say, it took a little while to get going, didn't it? But I think that last third of the fight made it what it became, I guess, known as one of the best fights. So can you imagine, like, today's heavyweights still throwing that amount of punches from those rounds 12 to 15?
Absolutely not.
Not a chance. So yeah, amazing conditioning and amazing grit and determination to keep throwing and try and take their opponent's heads off right until the end. So fair play. Big Matthew says they could. Maybe some could.
Maybe Tyson Fury for sure, I think.
Yeah. Just train and fight different. Yeah, maybe they would. But, you know, you do get some heavyweights where they're just absolutely knackered after round 3, 4, you know. Like Zhili Zhang comes to mind. And a couple of those other big boys. But anyway. Okay.
Said Zhang has no chance.
Okay, what we'll do then is we've got a couple of hours. We'll call that the end of the stream. We'll discuss the upcoming action separately, and I'll put some videos out for that, if you don't mind, Alex. And everyone can go about their holiday weekends. Thank you for everyone that stopped by. A shout out to Bars as usual, Beagle 47, Big Matthews, Boxiana. There's a couple more that came in.
No, Game to Dream.
Yes. Thank you all for stopping by. Hopefully we'll see you again in the future. You can make sure you join Fight Night Scores at fight-score.com. You can join our scoring group. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the video. And hopefully we'll see you in a future live stream. Alex is going to provide some information on future fights that we're going to cover in due course. So make sure you give us a follow on Twitter to keep up to date with the live streams that are going to come in future. Anything else to add, Alex?
Yeah, listen, for the next stream, I think it's going to be a very highly controversial fight or just a known classic. So definitely going to determine that. But I think it's going to be a must watch regardless of which direction we go in. And please, if you haven't done already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. See you guys next time.
Appreciate you all being here. Take care. Look after yourselves. Cheers. Bye-bye.